You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers. I will teach you. Now get up,
Welcome
get
to
on your
Basic Training 101. So, I'm going to give you some lessons out there. So let's say you're new to Black Ops or Call of Duty, and you're trying to figure out, how can I improve my game? So, I'm going to help you go through options here. First off, let's talk about control vibration. As you can see, you don't want your controller to be vibrating. So your controller, you want to turn off you want to disable the vibration, because if you have the vibration on, then what's going to happen is your controller is going to be shaking in your hand. You're going to lose your aim. So you want to put that on disable. Now, your look sensitivity, you really don't. That's something you have to work on over time. That's going to probably be, whatever works for you. That's just depending on how you feel about it. Now, player name indicator, I usually just use abbreviated, and we'll go over this in detail in the game as I go along, but just covering you a little synopsis of what this all means. You got abbreviated, different color schemes, icons. I like to use abbreviated, and we'll go over that later. Now, there's a thing called safe area, and you can adjust your horizontal and vertical gameplay. Now, I see some people, sometimes I see like Woody, he'll use expanded safe area as far out as possible, and then some people, they just leave it at default, and I'll explain those to you as we go along in game. Now, here's a very interesting thing. A lot of people use headphones. Some people have surround sound. I use a Sony Dream system. Same thing, surround sound. I don't like using headphones because it really damages your ears, so I don't really want to use that. And sound is very important in this game because you could turn off voice, and I've just decided to do that this week, and it's very interesting because what you can do with turning off voice, this is for more advanced players, is if you turn off voice, you're going to lose a lot of things like incoming, they're taking flag B, blah blah blah. It tells you everything they're doing. But if you listen to sounds, like you'll hear sounds before they come in, and you can look at your mini map and tell if it's an enemy or not, because you could hear like a Harrier jet coming in, or you can hear a napalm or a F-14 Phantom, whatever you want to call it, F-4 Phantom, or you can hear a B-2 bomber, and you can tell if it's an enemy or not. You don't need to hear all that noise, and sometimes you can miss little things in your gameplay. That's for a little bit more advanced tactics. So I'm playing against bots. Let me show you some demonstrations of some of the things in game. Now, the first thing you'll notice is the mini map. The mini map and the information given to you is spread out to the farthest reaches of the map of the viewing screen. So if you have the safe area vertical and horizontal stretched out all the way, even though the mini map is transparent, which it's better for default. A lot of people just leave it at default. They never change it. But if you spread the mini map all the way out and you have a big TV, let's say for example like I do, like 52 inches, then what happens is that now I have to take my eye off the center of the TV and then look at the mini map. It's very distracting for your gameplay. So if the people with the bigger TVs, you want to bring in the mini map as close as possible. Here now you can see I took off the gaming volume, and what that does is now I can't hear myself calling in a UAV or not that was the main volume, but use sound effects volume. You can adjust the sound effects volume, and that might be better for somebody who has headphones. Now if you have headphones, it's pretty good. You can adjust the sound effects so you don't really damage your ears. Now you can see I called in the care package, but I don't have voice volume in, so you really can't hear anything that's coming in, like UAV coming in or care package coming in. And like I said in the past, it could be very distracting, but at the same time it's very informative to you. And the point being is, you might come into a situation where you get this guy yelling in your ear, and that might be the difference of how does this guy know I'm here? How does this guy, not know I'm here? Because, for example, something could be flying by, or something could be, a perk or a streak could be happening, and the other guy's got everything turned down. He's got a headset on, and he can hear your character. Because if you don't have Ninja on, that's another thing. If you don't have Ninja on, every time your character reloads his weapon, throws a grenade, he translates that information to the enemy. So that could be like, reloading, grenade out, care package, and the enemy hears that. So if a guy's got his volume turned down, if he's got his sound turned down, his effects high, then he can hear you. He don't need UAV. I mean, he can hear the enemy. All you have to do is deductive reasoning. If you don't have a green arrow on the mini-map, then he knows that's the enemy that's talking. So then he stops, listens for footsteps, and then he can pretty much pinpoint your area. So it's important that you adjust your sound according to your situation. If you have headphones, I'd suggest probably cutting your voice volume down into half, raising, probably cutting down the effects and the sound. And here you can see I changed the abbreviations to colored. I'll go back to the sound, but I use abbreviated, and you can see the icons over the people's names. Now, some people use different colors. I mean, there's really no point in it unless you're colorblind. That's the purpose of it. The only point of using it is, your enemies are in, or your teammates are in green, your enemies are in red. It's pretty easy to differentiate that situation. Who's the bad guys and who's the good guys. And red is the best color to have unless you're colorblind. Now you can see here I lowered the vertical margins for the safe area. Look at the dip move even works on dumbass bots. But it lowered the vertical margins, so you can see the mini-map comes straight down, but it's still flush to the side. Now I don't see how that can help you at all, but you can understand the point. You see the gist of it. The mini-map is very important. I mean, to be honest with you, if you put it like even close, if you could bring the mini-map even closer to the center, then it would be great. Because I mean, to me, I would love to have the mini-map like right there in the middle, like center middle, maybe. I don't know, I guess it's good where it's at. If you look at it just default, it's a perfect place for it to be. Maybe if it was in the right hand corner, if I could move the mini-map to the right hand corner in the default area, that'd be perfect. But those are things that help you win by the margins in this game. Take advantage of those situations, like taking down the sound, changing the effects. What works for you? If you have headphones, if you have a surround sound system, adjust the TV sound, because that's going to help you win by the margins in the game. Even adjusting the brightness, because you might have a TV that has black lighting or whatever it does. Those are the things you got to work on. I mean, those are things that help you win by the margins in this game. And I'm using margins. But here I adjust it all the way back to normal at default, and you'll see the difference. Now I'll go back to gameplay. Alright, let's go ahead and do it. Oh, I was going to do I was bringing it all the way in horizontal and then stretching it all the way vertical. I think it's a little too far still away from where you need to see. So let's change that right now. So bring it down all the way. Like I said, if I can move it to the right hand side, it'd be awesome. Maybe we're gonna ask Vaughn on Twitter to move it to the right hand side. But you're really not gonna miss much. The mini map's left hand corner in default, transparent background if you're not within the map. So I mean, it's a good place to be. A lot of people, they'll bring it all the way flush and out, and I just don't see the point of that. Another thing here, you see me jumping and diving all over the place. I mean, that leaves you open a little bit, but it's good for certain circumstances. I've showed that dive move in some of my videos. I don't use a dive move as much, but sometimes you want sometimes I've escaped from RC cars. What people don't know about the dive move is that you can go 90 degrees. Right here, you see how I did that? You can dive 90 degrees left, or you can dive 90 degrees right. What you do is, as you dive, you turn the controller all the way to, or the analog stick all the way left or right, whichever way. So you could dive 90 degrees around corners. So if you didn't know that, it's a little tip for you guys. That basically covers it. That should help out your game tremendously about the sound, the margins, and your sensitivity. Until next time, it's your boy Fizz. Peace.